Yeah, balloons.
You said that this is violating our airspace, so why not take it down?
Yeah, so, clearly as we assess options and considering the size of the payload on this, looking at the potential for debris and the impact on civilians on the ground or property damage.
Please describe America to me in one single word.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was the foothills of the
Savior of Ukraine and Europe.
That's our man,
Joe Savior.
This was an interesting sort of, I think, sign of the beginning of the end for the balloon thing, and perhaps part of the agenda all along. We both saw this on Bloomberg. Spy balloons are the slow and silent future of surveillance.
Oh, okay.
Very interesting. Right? The future of surveillance was also used in the 1700s by the French.
Yeah, they talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. When Russ van der Werf heard about the Chinese surveillance balloon detected drifting over the U.S., potentially spying on sensitive installations, he was concerned. Naturally. But as vice president for the Stratospheric Solutions at Aerostar, a company that makes high-altitude balloons, he was also kind of psyched. For years, Van der Werf has been working to convince government and commercial customers that Aerostar's products offer serious advantages as surveillance platforms. It isn't always easy. Quote, there's always someone saying, "Oh, now the balloon kooks are here," he says. Well, now it looks like other people think it's a good idea, too.
The tables have turned.
It's a wonderful underdog story.
It is.
About the balloon industry, which, of course, we all know now has existed, sort of unappreciated for quite some time now. And we've actually talked about Aerostar before, reporting on their different products. The Aerostar is really, really taking advantage of all this balloon hype. And it seems like it may have opened some doors to the government, to government contracts. And I don't want to spend too much time on this article because the long and short of it is that, there's a big push for balloons now. Now, we know that the U.S. has had a robust surveillance balloon program. What was it, since 2015?
Yes. Yeah. There was a program in 2015. 2017, there was another report on it. And I think it says in this article about 2012, I had mentioned on Twitter the whole Project Loon thing, which went defunct, but it seemed like maybe, kind of like a paperclip situation. They might have moved some of the research to another country or something, maybe China. I don't know. But anyway, yeah.
So some of the benefits of balloons being touted in this article, they say it's better than satellites because a satellite only stays over an area for a couple minutes. It's better than airplanes because airplanes can be detected easily. Stratospheric balloons can overcome many of these problems. They fly higher than planes and are made of material that's transparent to radar. They're much harder to spot when they slip over the borders of unfriendly countries, as well as the fact that they can hover over a single area for weeks by controlling their altitude to catch different wind currents, things like that. I'm starting to suspect that this entire thing was just one big stunt for the balloon industry. I mean, you have a failing industry you truly believe might change the world of surveillance and other stuff, and nobody's paying attention to you. Somehow put off a big balloon, spray paint some Chinese characters on the sides, and get a couple shot down. It's worth it because suddenly the fear will strike into the hearts of the American government. And, we have the medical industrial complex, the military industrial complex, and I think we're going to have the balloon industrial complex now. The balloons are back, baby. They are back. But this is just a setup to another big story that's been floating around the past couple of days. What do you got, Guns?
Yeah, so from spy balloons to what I believe are spy buoys. This was being reported all over the place. This is Wyon being mirrored on MSN. Headline, mysterious object found on Japanese beach. Police cordon off the area. Mysterious object. I love the headlines. It's so provocative. In Japan, police have cordoned off a beach after discovering a mysterious ball on the sand.
Mysterious ball on the sand? Sounds like a balloon to me, Gons.
Oh, not this one. Not when you see it. As per local media reports, authorities are worried that the object might be a sea mine of some kind. A sea mine. Basil, don't step on those sea mines.
Yeah,
RT News
dangerous.
reports that the object was first spotted on Monday, February 20th, morning by a local woman in the city of Hamamatsu in the Shizuoka prefecture. The object reportedly measures around 1.5 meters. That's about 4.9 feet in diameter, and based on the rust on its surface, is believed to be made of iron. However, the exact metal is yet to be identified. Police have cordoned off a 200-meter radius around the object. As you can see the photos here. It looks like a kind of a... It looks like, when you go to a friend's house and they got those globes, those old brown globes, not the blue ones, like the older ones that had like the brownish tint.
Yeah. I got a couple of those.
That's kind of what it looks like. And it's got a little thing on the top and the bottom, which leads me to believe.
It's obviously a little spot where you attach a chain or a rope or something. It's
it's not.
D-hook or something.
You're being too rational. This is
D-ring, rather. Yeah.
This is And it says here the mysterious ball may have washed ashore from the sea.
May have? What? May have? Like, it's in the ocean. It's on the beach. It's in the surf as the tide is rising. But maybe it fell out of the sky.
Maybe it emerged from under the sand.
Yeah, maybe it tunneled up from below.
Yeah.
The balloon thing, I feel like, has programmed everybody to be completely triggered and freaked out by any orb-shaped object. Like, what is that? Oh yeah, it's a balloon. Look, there's a circle on the beach. No, it's not a balloon. It's an orb.
We're joking about it, but it is true. It is absolutely true. And we didn't report it today, but there's the Boulder, Colorado shooting thing going on, and they locked stuff down. And I haven't caught up with everything, so I don't know all the latest on that. But when I saw that, it made me think of, and I was probably putting this story together here. It made me think that, if there's enough paranoia, we already know what the lockdown looks like, and maybe they can do it in smaller local areas, which kind of like they did in Boulder today, which the students evacuated, shelter in place issued because there's an active shooter. There doesn't even need to be a real active shooter. They can just say there is, and then everything locks down. And then similarly, anything that pops up now, what is it? Especially social media. And it says here that pictures and videos of the object have widely been shared on social media websites. Oh,
the social media is crazy. I
It's
saw a
insane.
whole thread about how the iron orb on the beach was a UFO. I'm like, it's rusting and it has a chain attached to it. What are you talking about? It's a UFO.
So anybody who does any amount of due diligence, you can just go to your Googler or whatever, doesn't matter, and just type in industrial metal buoys.
Yeah.
And you'll get a bunch of what looks like big metal balls with hooks on either end. And it's literally a thing. Spherical buoys is a thing.
Well, the fun part is that the story isn't a buoy washed up on beach. The story here, for our sake, is look how powerful just a couple of weeks of narrative crafting can be. The constant onslaught of balloon talk has created it where a literal piece of trash washes up on the beach, and people are so triggered, they're so primed to be scared of orbs that it completely sets Twitter on fire, and not in a fun way. I thought, oh, okay, people are having fun with this. Like, they're making fun of the balloon thing. They freaked out over balloons. Turns out it might not have been anything. Now they see another orb and it's kind of like a meme, like a joke. But the more you looked into it, it's like, wait, No, it's not. Like,
These
the
people are
mainstream media
freaking out.
is covering a buoy that washed up, a mysterious object. And they use the same language too. Object, unknown object,
Unknown
washed
object.
up on beach. To me, this story is about how impressive it is that it only took about 2 weeks to totally reprogram society's responses to a orb showing up in a place where an orb usually isn't. And I think it's a good object lesson for all of us, especially on this show, of like, the programming is not as abstract as we think. It's easy to talk about narrative programming, worldview crafting, stuff like this, response, what's the word? When you make a movie,
Reaction.
the movie programming thing.
Oh, predictive programming.
Predictive programming. Thank you. Predictive programming. It's easy to think of all these things in sort of like an abstract conspiracy land way, but we literally watched the live programming of society to freak out at a circle in a place where there wasn't a circle before. And it did not take very long, and it was pretty easy. It's a wonderful thing. Let's not miss the message of the buoy. The message is we are way more easily programmed than even the most skeptical conspiracy theorists could consider.
Well,
the fear response, especially.
100%. And I agree with you. I also think that potentially, you never know, one of these days, a ball might wash ashore somewhere, and it may be the actual nuke. It might be Putin's nuke. You never know. I mean, they could just pull it off. Big explosion. I mean, I'm not leaving anything to chance. It can all go down. There's something that I wanted to mention as part of this, which is kind of fun, and on the side here, there is a Japanese mythology called Utsurobune, and Utsurobune, it means hollow ship. And it was made famous in the last 10, 15 years because of ancient aliens, because they did a whole thing where they take this mythology and they take a painting of this mythology from, I guess, a little while ago, a couple hundred years ago or whatever. And the image definitely looks like a UFO. It's kind of got a disc shape and whatnot. Yeah. But the legend itself, when you read it, it's kind of like, okay, it sounds more like a carriage, a sea carriage or something. But I thought it was interesting because, this would be a little more, I don't know, worthy of social media speculation from the conspiracy crowd.
Have you seen this? Was anybody saying Japanese UFO?
Some people were, but not really. People aren't that informed nowadays when they're responding to conspiracy stuff. But sure. I thought it was interesting because according to legend, on February 22nd, 1803, how many years ago is that? It's 2023, 1803. That is 220 years ago. Yeah. Ooh, 220.
Yeah.
On the 22nd.
Ooh.
Local fishers of the Harayadori shore in the Hitachi province saw an ominous ship drifting in the waters. Curious, they towed the vessel back to land, discovering that it was 3.3 meters.
Ooh.
Almost twice as big as the ball. And 5.45 meters wide, reminding the witnesses of Kohako, Japan incense. It reminded them of the incense burners that they have over there. Its upper part appeared to be made of red-coated rosewood, while the lower part was covered with brazen plates, obviously to protect it against the sharp-edged rocks. So it was a water vehicle of some kind, but of course,
sounds like the landing pod of an old space shuttle, not shuttle, but space rocket, like from the Apollo missions, where it was like a cone type of thing that fell down and had the heat resistant plating.
Yeah. So in the mythology, there's a woman that comes out of this thing. She's got red hair and red eyebrows, long hair elongated by artificial white extensions. Okay. White fur, thin white powder, textile streaks. And so
Cyborg Sasquatch.
ocean cyborgs or something. So maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's what we're waiting for. We'll have the spy buoys for a while, but then one of these days it'll just be a giant egg. And I saw one funny thing that it's Gojira. This is how it all begins. It's a Gojira egg that washed ashore. It's gonna hatch and giant lizard thing terrorize.
Yeah, okay. It's a
world.
Godzilla egg.
Godzilla egg. I saw other people say Dragon Ball, which I thought was kind of funny.
Nice.
But there you go. Some fun things there. And yeah,
Well,
I do agree with you that the response here was the phenomenon in terms of everybody freaking out about it and not spending even a moment to consider like, hey, maybe there's some explanation here, especially when you look at the pictures and you see the hooks. You see the top.
Doesn't even require an explanation. Yeah. Stay vigilant, folks. Stay vigilant. Keep an eye out for orbs where orbs should not be. This is the real threat. It's not China. It's not Russia. It's not our own government. It's circular objects where there was no circular object before. Stay frosty, folks.